Let's talk main event. Vergil Ortiz against Bohachuk. Man, what a fight. And I'll turn it over to you because I know everyone's going to want to hear your thoughts on Vergil Ortiz. But, man, the toughness that he showed.
You can't always connect or attach the way a guy looks facially after a fight, a tough fight, with how he did or didn't do compared to the other guy who looks better. Because it's got a lot to do with features that you have no control over. You know, whether you moved your head or not, there's certain guys more prone to bruising, you know, because of high cheekbones, because a lot of different variables and a lot of different, you know, just inherited traits. It's not indicative that he took more punishment than he dished out. It's just that he didn't wear it as well. Bohachuk's greatest talent is being steady, technically solid. He's got a motor that never stops, that is ongoing all the time. You know, it's like he's got a fuel pump in his corner to keep gassing him that we don't even see. But his shortcomings is he is one-dimensional. You know, he does come the same way, but he makes it work. He looks to wear you down. He looks to break your will. And that's where Ortiz needs credit. Because a lot of guys that were as talented as Ortiz that hadn't yet been tested in those areas might have gotten broken down. But Ortiz deserves credit for coming up aces. When he did something, it was a little more explosive. It was more damaging. His hands were faster. That stood out to me. He was more dimensional. He showed a dimension that we hadn't really seen. And you need that. If you only depend on power, pressure, you know, explosiveness, you're going to run into a jam one day where that doesn't work. What else do you got? And that kind of happened Saturday night. So he showed another dimension. He could box a little bit. He could use his legs. He could jab. Ortiz took it outside. He hadn't really had to do that. He took it outside. He moved. He boxed. And by doing that, he gave himself an edge in some rounds where Bohachuk wasn't ready for the boxing, where Bohachuk came up a little short, where he won some of those rounds and separated himself a little bit with the boxing, with the outside fighting, instead of just the phone booth fighting. It was one of the differences in the fight that he had that dimension that Bohachuk did not have. I think the key to this fight is the ref. I tear refs apart sometimes, but I build them up and pat them on the back when they do the right thing. Harvey Doc deserves a bonus. In the first round, there was a knockdown where the right hand of Bohachuk landed behind the ear of Ortiz over his jab. He timed him, and it dropped him. He got right up. It was hard to decipher initially. It happened so quick. So Harvey Doc didn't call it a knockdown. When I saw the replay, I said, oh, they missed it. That was a knockdown. And then Harvey Doc went over to the commission, and the mic was open, thank God. He was honest enough to basically admit he may have missed the knockdown. So he went to the commission for the world to hear on the mic. And he said, do you want to look at the video? You want to look at the videotape to make sure that wasn't a knockdown. And the commission, I thought it was appalling, said no. And right away, I made a note. I was ready to rip them apart, rip them a new you-know-what. I was ready to destroy them. I said, how could they not say, yes, you got video for a reason. We never used to have video replay in any of the sports. Boxing was the last one to finally come up to, you know, catch up a little bit. But to not use it when you have it in a case like this is the exact case of why you would use it, why you would have it, to see whether or not, because that could change the course of the scoring. The main thing is to correct themselves. I understand. But I wonder, Ken, and I wonder, audience, that if that was not live and for the world to hear, would the commission have come back in the 5th round and changed it? Why would you not look at it again unless you were favoring the house fighter? Having said that, and I think it's fair. I don't give a damn if you're mad for me saying it. A lot of people won't say it because they want to go along to get along. They want access. They want friendship. I don't care. I care about what I saw and what I believe to be true. And hopefully the fans come here for that. Even if you disagree with me, that you come, that you're going to at least know you're going to get a fast shot at being told what should be told, what I think should be told. At the end of the day, I give all credit. I take nothing away from Ortiz. He fought like a champion. He was more explosive in spots. I thought that his hands were faster. I thought that that close rounds, there was a lot of close rounds. A lot of real close rounds. I thought he stole some close rounds at the end of rounds by being a little more explosive, a little go early in the round, by shaking Bohachuk a little bit and being explosive enough to do that, to steal a close round where his punch was a little bit more effective. Because it does come down to who lands the cleaner, more effective punches. It does come down. That is the criterion that it's supposed to come down to, or the main one. There's no getting around. He got dropped twice. Those are potentially 2 10-8 rounds. The first one, 10-8. 10-8. The second one in the 8th, not so fast, my friends. Because he got dropped with the left hook early. Real knockdown. Got dropped. But he got right up. He wasn't tremendously affected. He wasn't tilting one way to the other way, falling around. It wasn't that kind of effect. It was a knockdown, but not devastating. He got right up. But here's the thing. He dominated the round, he being Ortiz. From that point on, he knew the fire alarm went off. He knew it was an emergency. He knew that was the second knockdown of the fight. He knew what he had to do. He knew he had to behave like a fighter, like a champion. And he did. He dominated the rest of the round. I think the judges did a good job, pretty good job. I mean, I disagree with the 113, I'm there. But the 114, 112, 1 point too much for Ortiz. It was that close. And that's why people are saying it's a robbery. And the 2 knockdowns. The turning point of the fight might have been the 9th round. Which I gave, really intense close round. I gave it to Bohachuk. 2 of the judges gave it to Ortiz. I gave it to Bohachuk. Really close. Could have been an even round. Could have went to Ortiz. I give all credit again to the fighters. Both of them showed the medal of champions, the makeup of champions, the intangibles of champions. And I salute Harvey Dock for being a referee he is, an honest man. He looked at his mistake right there. He looked it in the eye. And he said to the commission, you want to check that? I didn't call it, but you want to check it to make sure it's not a knockdown? And the commission says no. How do you say no? Yeah, they came back. Did they come back because they knew they would be cooked? They would be barbecued. They would be put on a spit and just lambasted over a hot flame if they had not changed it after the world heard. If that mic wasn't live, I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. Maybe not. But I gotta wonder, knowing boxing, knowing the people that run boxing, the executives of boxing that screw up so often, knowing that it took them 5 rounds to say they got it wrong, I don't know. But I do know it was a hell of a fight, but I did my best to be fair down the middle and bring you. And a lot of times, I got a little bit of a brain. A lot of times I know coming on what you want to hear and what it would be easier to say, to not get criticized, to say. But I ain't signing that contract. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not, because at the end of the day, there's one person you got to answer to. That person is the person you look in the mirror at.